What is up, friends? It's Sergio with SportsCardAlbum.com here with a celebratory video. This isn't a box break. This isn't an anything. I came into my little sports card man cave earlier today and spent a couple of hours doing nothing but sorting through my cards and finding my Chicago Cubbies. Yesterday was a late night. I've got a newborn, exhausted, dead tired, need to sleep, don't care. World Series, Cubs playing for the first time, trying to win a World Series for the first time since 1908. So, I decided to go through some of my stacks of baseball cards and boxes of baseball cards that I have and find some of my Cubbies here, and we're going to go over a couple of them here. I actually found some amazing ones. Now, here's a guy, Javier Baez, who yesterday I wanted to strangle at some points. Two of the three Cubbies errors came from this guy, who someday is going to be a Gold Glove winner, but for some reason in Game 7 decided to make all sorts of mistakes, including at the plate with a bunt with 2 outs or 2 strikes. The only thing you don't want to do is bunt. We only had 1 out and a man on in scoring position on third. All you need to do is hit a fly ball, sacrifice fly, and you score. Coach asked him to bunt. He bunted foul. And I was like, no, why again? No. I wanted to find Bartman and punch him in the face again just for old time's sake. But he atoned for it with a home run, critical home run, and I love him for it. Addison Russell, what? This guy who just making in Game 6, I think he had 6 RBIs in the first 3 or 4 innings. Very excited. His rookie cards and patch autographs from National Treasures and stuff are still selling way less than what they should be. I think he's got a high ceiling, what he can do. And after this, I'm going to save, you know what, no, we'll talk about Jason Heyward. So Jason Heyward had me just losing hair. This World Series, this postseason, this entire season, this guy who just, 5 years ago, 6 years ago was one of the top rookies, or maybe more, Atlanta Braves. I don't even know, maybe it was even longer, maybe it was 7, 8 years ago. Just a phenomenal talent, super hot. His baseball cards were super hot, and he came over to the Cubbies this year. I was excited, and he just couldn't hit anything. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, hit into multiple double plays, which made me want to punch him in the face, or almost into multiple. But this guy, in case you didn't know, Jason Heyward, he made a couple amazing defensive plays. Threw out a runner from outfield to second base in, I think, Game 5 or 6. That was an extraordinary play, helped us get out of that inning. And apparently in Game 7, when the Cubbies threw it away, Coach threw it away. Chapman, who shouldn't be throwing 3 games in a row, not really his fault, threw it away. And then when we had that rain delay and all seemed lost, momentum was totally on the other, on the Cleveland Indians side, Jason Heyward apparently gathered the entire team during that rain delay and reminded them who they were, what they were there for, what they were about, and they came out, and the rest is history. So Jason Heyward, who offensively may have been worthless, he could have been the catalyst for that 10th inning scoring spree and bases loaded and all that stuff that eventually won us the World Series. Addison Russell, future stars from 2016 Topps Chrome, I believe. Yep, 2016 Topps Chrome. You're not a future star any longer, Addison. You get a Grand Slam and another 2 RBIs in 1 game of the World Series. I don't care if you're hitless the rest of the World Series. You're a hero in my book. Jorge Soler right here in a beautiful home run pose. Jake Arrieta celebrating right here. Celebrating with some champagne. I'm sure he was celebrating with some more champagne yesterday. I was not a fan of his pitching several times. He'd get 2 outs, everything looked good, and then he'd blow it. My man Kyle Schwarber, who a knee injury earlier in this year caused his card prices to plummet, Cubbies' hearts to sink, and it didn't matter. He came back and just started playing lights out again, especially when we needed him the most at the end of the World Series. Here's a nice museum collection Addison Russell. Now this is something. This young man, I pulled this card earlier this year in Sports Cards Plus in San Antonio, and I was bummed out that this was my hit in the box, and it was worthless. It was worth like $3. But you know what? This hero, 25 years old, comes in the bottom of the ninth to pitch to try to get a couple of outs. And, oh no, I'm sorry, what was it? It was in the 10th inning. It was in the bottom of the 10th inning that Carl Edwards Jr. comes in, gets 1 out, gets 2 outs, and then lets somebody on base and gets another person, he gets in trouble, and they pull him. But you know what? He got 2 outs in a row to lead off the bottom of the 10th inning, and for that, you, young man, are a hero. This is an autograph out of $4.99. Carl Edwards Jr., baby. Kris Bryant, the natural. This guy consistently going yard. First Cubby to go, or first person since, who was it, Mickey Mantle, to go back-to-back homers in World Series games. This guy, there's nothing that could be said. I can't say enough about Kris Bryant. There's just too much. The guy is just, he is the future of the Cubbies, and he's extraordinary. Jake Arrieta again. Boy, you know what? I want to show these. I want to take this out because Tribute, ever since 2010 football, Tribute just makes some of the most gorgeous cards. I've shown you that I like to display cards in some of those long Ultra Pro displays. It's a pity they don't offer thicker stock. That neither they nor BCW sell things in thicker stock, because I would love to just put 3 of these, Cubbies side by side, because these are some of the nicest base cards in existence. They're just gorgeous. You don't need an autograph. You don't need anything. This is a prize right here in and of itself. So I wanted to show you that. Here is a Stadium Club. Look at that beautiful smile. He just knew, I'm going to win the World Series in the next year. That's what he's smiling about. He's like, yeah, I know it. I'm about to win the World Series. 108 years, don't matter. I'm about to win the World Series. Here's an Isometrics Jake Arrieta from Stadium Club. ERA of 1.77 with 22 wins and 229 innings pitched. All that matters is how you perform in the World Series. And although he wasn't phenomenal, we couldn't have won it without him. Anthony Rizzo. This guy, call him Mr. Clutch, because this guy came through over and over and over and over again. Over and over again for the Cubbies in the World Series, in the playoffs in general. Just phenomenal dude. Here we got Jake Arrieta again, Ryan Williams. Couple right-handers. Now we get into some sweet stuff. Here we got a Kyle Schwarber rookie card from Topps. Now, this one I pulled recently. Probably the best card I own of the Cubbies. 19 out of 25, Kyle Schwarber from Origins, Inception, Silver Ink Auto. Gorgeous card. But look at this. Before I get to the last card, actually, I'm going to show my boy Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth. Why am I showing him? Because an interesting statistic popped up yesterday watching the World Series that the last time the Cubs won the World Series, this guy, Babe Ruth, was 13 years old. He was barely a teenager the last time. And now we are recording a video on technology that didn't exist for 90 years after Babe Ruth was, or after the last time the Cubbies won the World Series. Now I'm going through my stacks of cards and I find this, and I had no idea I owned this. You guys remember Bowman Sterling, right? Bowman Sterling, you get like 1 million autographs per box, cost $200-300, but they're prospects, you never know. Look who I found! Back then, I was excited I pulled an Austin Meadows. Remember Austin Meadows? He was huge back then. I did not even know I had this. Kyle Schwarber base. It's not a serial number, but a Kyle Schwarber Chicago Cubs catcher rookie autograph from 2014 Bowman Sterling. Gorgeous autograph, 100% on the sticker right there. So I've got 2 Kyle Schwarber autographs now. And I'm going to have to find a way. I'm going to take these cards. Last night I tweeted out, I called my dad at like 12 at midnight, scared my mom to death, woke her up, talked to my dad. She thought something was wrong, and I talked to my dad, and we were freaking out, both like in tears that the Cubbies won. And I'm going to surprise him. I'm going to find a way to make a nice framed Cubbies thingy and put some of these nice cards in there, organize it really pretty. Get him a championship, World Series champions hat, and one of those to put up in his office. So there you have it. There is my Chicago Cubs World Series Champions recap video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for taking a trip down Chicago Cubs World Series Champions memory lane with me. And man, I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked. Everything is wonderful. Life is good. The Cubbies won the World Series. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the forum. See you on Sports Card Album. And good night.